Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this Warcraft Rumble HEROIC campaign guide, I'll show you how to beat Cairne Bloodhoof in 1000 Needles. Cairne Bloodhoof fight can be quite tricky, not so that you would be under tons of pressure, you can usually survive quite well, but one of the most common results when you can't make it is a draw, because Cairne is really difficult to kill. Cairne has these two trolls that are protecting him, and these two trolls are unkillable, you cannot damage them. Single target air attack. Note that they only shoot air units, so air units tend to get killed very quickly when they attack Cairne. You can actually get a couple of hits in if you make them go through the middle bridge here. Then it's the furthest range from the trolls, so they might get a couple of hits in, but it's still really hard to attack Cairne with air units. So you mostly want to attack with ground units, and Cairne has a lot of beef bruisers, and Cairne has grunts, warsong raiders, there's ogre mages, the stonehoof taurens. It's really hard to reach Cairne and then be able to deal damage, but I have the tools for you, don't worry about that. Other than that, there's Code Vein over there, there's a couple of Code Veins over here, there's two towers, one over here and one over here. I like to take both towers, so then I can attack Cairne from here, and I can attack Cairne from here as well, because often when you send long-range units from down below, like meat wagons or plague farmers, then they get to shoot at Cairne a while the main battle is going on over here, and they just go unnoticed. And this tower is also something that you can take with long-range units, because you can send a Plague Farm with the range talent or with Meat Wagon with no talents. You can send it over here and it's going to shoot at the tower and it can take the tower, so you don't need anything else to take that tower, and then you can just continue your assault over here. Also, once you eventually get Cairne down, then Cairne is actually going to resurrect at low health and send 3 mirror images of himself across all 3 paths to attack your bases. But those mirror images are not that sturdy, they are quite easily killed, and then you can kill Cairne again, but that just adds to the DPS requirements. And this is the army that I have used for Cairne. I have used this with all families, works with all families. There's Harpies, there's Defias Bandits, there's Stonehoof Tauren, Safe Pilot, Plague Farmer, and Quillbore. And this is a talented army, adding some poison talents so that I can get a little bit of more damage in. It can be done without talents, but then you need some levels. I'm going to show you also a talentless guild with the same team, so yeah, it can be done, but it requires a little bit more levels so that you have a little bit more damage, because those talents had just so much damage. Also, what other considerations are there? Well, Plague Farmer requires the range talent to do its job. You can use Meat Wagon instead. If you don't have range talent on Plague Farmer, Meat Wagon is perfectly capable of doing this. I just like Plague Farmer better, it's cheaper, and the poison is just so nice and synergistic with other poison talents. Then this tank slot here, you want this tank slot to be something that can kill ogre mages and also take hits. So that rules out Prowler, which can't take those hits. Stonehoof Tauren is the best one, but I have also done this with an Abomination here. So Abomination can also work, so you have some leeway with the tank. Maybe some other sturdy tanks that can kill an ogre mage can do as well. Other than that, well, Harpies can't really attack Cairne, but Harpies will take the towers, Harpies will kill all sorts of ground units, and Harpies will kill the Cairne images, so Harpies are still going to do a lot of work in this one. And Quillbore is here to turn the towers around, turn minis around, turn even Cairne around, just distracting. And Safe Pilot's most important job is right at the start, because with the first push there's that one Pyromancer. Cairne does not have a Pyromancer in its deck, there's just one Pyromancer in the entire game, and that's coming in the first push, and Safe Pilot is here to kill that Pyromancer. So typically I do something like Harpies killing the ground units and Safe Pilot killing the Pyromancer, landing on the bridge, possibly killing some other stuff as well, and sending out the Plague Farmer to take the first tower. That sort of stuff you will see in the gameplay footage. So that's the team. Some possible alterations can be done. It's really all about getting enough DPS in, because Cairne can really take a punch. But this is what it all looks like in action. Okay, so let's start with beasts, and this time with the opening. I don't have Harpies in my opening hand, I don't have Safe Pilot in my opening hand. I would really like to get both of those, but because the mana curve is quite low, I can quite easily cycle here. So I will get that Safe Pilot on the bridge, killing the Pyromancer, but sadly now it's succumbed to the Bat Rider, so things are not going perfectly, but I have now Harpies out and nothing can hit Harpies, so Harpies are just going to kill all of these minis here. That's okay, I did have to spend the Quillbore there, so Harpies, when they arrive at the base, they are going to be eaten by the tower quite quickly. But Plague Farmers with the range talent, they can take down that tower. So now one tower is down. And next up, I want to work my way towards second tower. So I'm sending the Harpies out there. I'm sending the Quillbore out there. And the Plague Farmers also with the range talent. Again, they outrange the tower, so they're doing a splendid job. Just dropping Safe Pilot out there to defend. Dropping stuff on the bridges is typically very, very strong, because they can shoot below, but they cannot be shot at from below. So then we just drop some stuff on the bridge, and here we go. We get to start hitting at Cairn. We have Plague Farmers coming all over the place. This time there is a Stonehoof Tauren catching my Plague Farmers from up top. But as you can see, that Plague Farmer from the bottom is doing a splendid job and managed to get multiple hits in before anything arrived to intercept it. Sadly, now there was something to it. I tried to save this Plague Farmer because I really want those Plague Farmer, the stream of Plague Farmers from the south, and then the stream of Stonehoof Taurens from the west, or from the left, however you want to describe these directions. And as you can see, that's dealing a bunch of damage. Bat Rider is one of the most annoying units here, actually, because I don't have a lot of tools that can handle Bat Riders. But it went quite alright there, and Plague Farmers just keep poisoning Cairn, and there Cairn died for the first time and resurrected, and now we have the 3 mini Cairns coming. But the mini Cairns will go out of the reach of those trolls protecting, so Harpies. I started with Harpies over there at the top, because there were other minis as well that Harpies could kill. And for the other Cairns, the middle Cairn is of no consequence really, because it gets hit by the tower so many times. It's more like this bottom Cairn here that's actually going to my base, but I have another set of Harpies coming. Now the deck is quite cheap, so you can quite easily cycle, which means that you will get all sorts of minis quite rapidly, and then you're just able to keep pushing. And now it has taken me longer than usual, I would say, so far, trying to stabilize here. Haven't been super successful with that, but we're slowly making it. We're grabbing one tower there, and now we get some Harpies to do some defensive work. And Plague Farmer is going to be able to get that tower, no worries. That tower will be mine in the near future again. Yep, Harpies saved the Plague Farmer. Harpies, now I was a little late with the Quillbore. I needed to get that Quillbore out there earlier. I messed it up, so that was a perfectly good chance for me to retake the tower. But I will have another opportunity, no worries. There's also still plenty of time remaining. Cairn has already died once, so the other kill shouldn't be that difficult. Just sending stuff out from here, from the south now, while I take the other tower. And alright, now we have the towers. We're fully stable. We're getting an assault in. Multiple Plague Farmers are coming. We have some distraction. Everything is looking splendid. Here we go. That Cairn is so going down. Still some time left, and boom boom, Cairn is taking hits and Cairn is going down. Like that. Okay, let's do that again, this time with a Blackrock team. So, no Harpies in sight. I'll delay a little bit with the Bandits and the Stonehoof Tauren. Harpies are coming only there. Well, we do get the Safe Pilot, get that Pyromancer down, because the Pyromancer kills your Harpies really quickly. Now we just need to stall a little bit longer, and we get Harpies in. And we already have the Plague Farmer working his magic. And Harpies are now going to kill all of this, because there are very few units here that can actually hit back at Harpies. So Harpies are doing just a splendid job. I'm already starting to think about the future. I'm already sending a Stonehoof Tauren for the next tower. And yeah. So we're already attacking the next tower. Setting some Harpies out there now, getting ready to Quillbore. Yep, Quillbore, Harpies, classic. And now we have good assault going over there, and we can start thinking about sending attacking units against Cairn also from down below. So now, as you can see, Plague Farmers coming from down below. Might as well send a Stonehoof Tauren, because we still have a pretty good push coming from the top, but this time it actually failed a little bit because I wasn't paying enough attention, and they managed to get me with the Bat Rider. Bat Rider is a bit of an issue, but I haven't found a super strong counter to it. Safe Pilot is by far the best. because no matter if you use a troll, if you use a pyromancer, Bat Rider typically still gets to shoot once, and then the flame pool is going to kill many of your ranged DPS. So ranged DPS don't really help, and flyers get killed by the trolls anyway, so... But here again, we have that Plague Farmer that came from down below. As you can see, it has already grabbed like half of Cairne's health. I sent some hobbies from the middle. I'm actually not sure if they even got to hit Cairne this time. I didn't see the health bar going down at least, so maybe they were a little bit too late and didn't actually manage to get a hit in. But we just keep sending stuff, Plague Farmers from the south, main assault coming from the left side. Those hobbies should now live long enough to kill the Bat Rider, and they do, which is splendid, so we can keep sending attacking units from here. And again, Plague Farmer coming from down below, and we keep sending more Plague Farmers while our distraction comes from the left. So yeah, that's just how it goes. And those Plague Farmers and that poison is sticking, and the longer they get to shoot at Cairne, the more the poison keeps sticking, and the poison just keeps sticking, and Cairne number 1 goes down. Alright, we have plenty of time left, so now we need to answer everything that's coming, and we have Harpies, Stonehoof Tauren, because it's a tank that can take a hit, so you can just tank this one direction, and then there's that middle direction, which doesn't really do much. And my Harpies, unfortunately, were killed by that Ogre Mage while I was looking elsewhere, so that hurt a little bit, but it shouldn't be too tough. There's one relatively weak Cairne coming from the middle. The Cairne coming from the bottom is almost dead already, and we are getting the base back as well. Device Bandit just doing such a great job here, because they can stun all of these annoying minis and disrupt them, and yeah, it's just beautiful. Alright, so we are stable again, and we can start sending stuff out there, contesting Cairne, including those Plague Farmers from the down below. And figured I need a little bit of tools here as well, because that base seemed to be going down, but it's okay. Just keep sending stuff out there, Plague Farmers, safe pilots, and boom, that's Cairne down once again. And if you try to do this mission without talents, there's two problems that you will run into. One is that Plague Farmer without the range talent is inadequate, so you will need to use Meat Wagon instead. Meat Wagon, even without any talents, can do everything. And the other is that you're just going to lack so much DPS, because talents like Poison Harpies, Poison Bandits, Poison on the Plague Farmer, they just add so much damage that without those talents you're just lacking critical damage, and doing it with low levels can be really tricky. So here I'm out-leveling the content now by 1 level, so these are level 20 minutes without talents. Oh, there's a pick lock on the bandits, but there are no chests, so it doesn't matter. So levels obviously overcome DPS issues, and lack of DPS is your main problem when you're doing this without talents. But now, when you have enough levels, even if you don't have any talents, then, as you will be able to see from this, then this just works anyway. But you can see how much more difficult everything is. Like, even though the Harpies are now a couple of levels higher than they were previously, when they had the Poison talent, then now without the Poison talent, they just don't do as much. But be it as it may, with a little bit of patience, is still perfectly doable. We get a Quillbore out there to tank a little bit again, and we try to get some mining done, and those Harpies without the poison, they just don't hit the same. But they are still one of the better DPS minis, even without talents. But then their fragility can become an issue. And here we can see how Stonehoof Tauren against the Ogre Mage, important matchup in this map. And important that you're able to handle those Ogre Mages. And we just keep sending some Stonehoof Tauren out there. Now we're sending Meat Wagons from the south, obviously, because we don't have the Plague Farmers, and also Meat Wagons from the other side. So Meat Wagons shooting Cairne at range. Here we go. Just look at that splendid job done by those Meat Wagons. Meat wagons everywhere. Meat wagon also is far enough that it's actually pretty nice here because the Batrider didn't hurt it, and yeah, now Cairn splits into multiples, but hey, we still have the meat wagons pushing in, and yeah, those Cairn copies actually might be in some trouble. Let's see, the copies are coming, so we do the standard harpy assault on the copies. No device bandits actually I meant to position them on the main base so that they would meet the Cairn copy, but it's okay. That's still totally fine. Alright, we're stable. Everything's looking good. There's some gold that we can mine. And we're ready to rock and roll. Let's go. As soon as we get to kill these, then we can send some meat wagons out there to chip at Cairn again. Here we go, here we go. Distract a little bit. Well, that meat wagon actually did not manage to kill them. The torrent actually did not manage to kill the meat wagon. That was wonderful. But it died to the troll. Sad times. Then again, Stonehoof Torrent also counters those trolls quite beautifully. So need to try to send some units to attack, and we do, and even without talents, Cairn just goes down. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.